man in the center of this debate, Tejasvi Surya, joins me right here on the Newshour Direct. Joining me tonight on the Newshour Direct is BJP Member of Parliament in the Lok Sabha, Tejasvi Surya. And Tejasvi Surya, I want to ask you, what is the premise of this latest controversy over the Waqf board notices that have gone off to farmers reclaiming 1,500 acres of land in the district Vijayapura? I want to ask you, is this once again polarization by the BJP as the Congress is calling it?
Navika ji, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show today, because this is a very important matter and it is so vital that this the farmers of the state, the farmers of Vijayapura district need a voice to be heard, and you are giving a platform for this. Crux of the issue, Navika ji, the farmers in Vijayapura district met me, submitted voluminous documents, all pertaining to their land records, all pertaining to their agricultural lands. They have ownership, they have been in possession of the land, have been tilling the land from more than 6 to 7 generations. Starting from 1910, 1920, the mutation register, the pani, the title deeds, everything is in their names. All of a sudden, the Waqf board over the last 20-30 days has issued notices. In just one village, 1,500 acres has now been claimed. And in all of Vijayapura district, about 15,000 plus acres has been claimed by Waqf board. And over the last 2-3 weeks, the Minority Affairs Minister in Karnataka, Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan, has conducted a series of meetings in all districts and has instructed the deputy commissioners to forthwith register the Waqf properties, lands claimed by Waqf, and make the mutation changes as per those claims. And today, the farmers brought
What's the evidence?
Mutation registers.
What's the evidence that you have that such instructions have been given by the Minority Affairs Minister?
His speech is all over the media. Every news channel has covered it. I will send the speech to you. There are large congregations in which, along with Muslim leaders, deputy commissioners are seated, and the minister is giving them directions. And right after the directions are given, today the farmers come to me with tons of documents where they're next to their survey numbers, the mutation has changed, and as per the directions of the DC, this is what the mutation change says. As per the directions of the DC, the title has been changed. The mutation register now says that Waqf board, the land belongs to Waqf board. And the farmers have been cultivating this land. There are mortgages, the loans that they have taken on this land. Banks have given loans on these things. Agriculture department has given subsidies based on these lands. And but
the legal advisor, the Congress state government's legal advisor, Mr. Ponnanna, has said that Tejasvi Surya ji is a lawyer and there is a proper way to register Waqf land. No one can do it randomly. He is just making these allegations for the bipole elections. There won't be any documents backing those claims. People should not fall prey to these allegations. How do you respond to that?
Well, Ponnanna sir is a lawyer, but he happens to be the legal advisor of one of the most communal governments Karnataka has seen, the Congress government presently. Therefore, his statement has to be taken not with a pinch of salt, but with a bucket of salt. But Navika ji, the fact of the matter is this. I request you to please send your reporters on the ground. Do not wait for what I am saying. Do not go by what Ponnanna is saying or anybody is saying. Send your reporters to Vijayapura. More than 15,000 acres of land is being claimed. Farmers will give you documentation. They will provide you from all the survey numbers, the mutation registers, the panis. They have collected documents going as far back as 1910, which proves their claim and their ownership. Their houses are there. Their farms are there. They have been growing crops there over generations. And the Waqf Act, under the Waqf Act, the
have you
Waqf
managed
Board
to
has-
check any of these documents? Because these documents, these claims can only be settled by a court of law. How can
Yes.
Mr. Tejasvi Surya take a position that what is being presented by the farmers is actually a legal document, number one? And number two, what about the politics? What about the politics? Because it is election season virtually every other month in this country. And what about the charges made against you that you are politicizing the entire matter?
First of all, Navika ji, I really want this matter to be heard before the courts, before the civil court. But you know what is preventing it? It is the Waqf Act that is preventing it. Show me one piece of legislation in the whole world which gives a particular religious denomination the authority, A, to identify a land, claim the land as its own, upon its own inquiry and upon its own satisfaction. Then if there is any litigation, the litigants have to go before its own tribunal, and the order of that tribunal is final, and you cannot go and appeal to the High Court or any other court. And the Act also gives this same group of people authority to remove encroachments. It's a full package.
But their argument is that there are government nominees on these boards. Their argument is there are judicial nominees on these boards. So what do you have to worry?
I am asking you, show me one piece of legislation, not in India, but in any part of the world, that gives any religious minority or any religious denomination whatsoever similar rights. This is the crux of the matter, not politics.
All right.
Waqf
So let
Act
me,
is an
in the end, let me just
right.
ask you, let me just ask you one question. Is this
Navika,
because farmers came knocking on your door? You picked up the farmers issue because the BJP has had a bad record as far as perception on farmers issues is concerned because of the 3 farm laws that were brought in. Is this something being done to correct that image?
Navika ji, there is a limit to connecting the dots. I think what you have tried to do is an exaggeration beyond any reasonable limits. So I don't want to go into that. But I have a question for you. If you claim any immovable property to be your own, the burden of proof to prove that particular property is yours falls on whom? The person making the claim. But you know what is the scheme of a burden of proof under the Waqf Act? If the Waqf Board makes a claim, then it is not incumbent on the Waqf Board to prove its claim. But the burden of proof is upon the person on whose property the Waqf Board makes a claim to prove that it indeed belongs to him and not to the Waqf Board. Show me a piece of legislation which has similar burden of proofs.
Well, this new controversy that has risen in Karnataka probably going to take a life of its own, a path of its own, but completely out of time. Tejasvi Surya will keep following this story, and as far as farmers and their rights are concerned, we do hope the courts of the land will wake up, take notice and protect those.
One second, please. I am visiting Vijayapura right after Deepavali. I request you to please deploy your reporters to understand the ground situation, cover the thousands of farmers whose 15,000 plus acres of land is now trying to be encroached upon. Please send your reporters.
We'll continue to be where the news is and where rights are being trampled upon, because we are the voice of the people, especially those who are facing these kind of exploitative claims, if they are exploitative, and those who are downtrodden. Make no mistake, Mr. Tejasvi Surya. But thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. And thank you, viewers, for being with me. Good night, be safe, have a safe weekend.